Anderson and I'm running for Association President.
I'm Stephen Fan and I'm running for Association President.
I'm Ben Anderson and I'm running for Association President, and I'm here with Bubble TV's Biscuit Box of Questions. So let's see what we've got. How are you approaching your campaign?
I have to fight even harder than I did last year. I'm taking it extraordinarily seriously because I really believe in what I want to get through. It's not that anyone deserves incumbency, but there are policies that the students of St. Andrews deserve to have followed through. So I'm hoping this campaign will be bigger and better than last year.
The thing I'm trying to do my campaign in as grassroots a way as possible. So other people who are involved in the campaign, so I'm saying do this or do that. What I want them to do is come up with suggestions and do what I want and see if it works out.
The aim of the campaign is to be really positive about what the union is, what we can make it, and how we can make it better.
What makes you stand out from your competitors?
I think having not only the aspiration to do big things for St. Andrews students, but having actually gained traction on these areas and having actually delivered on these promises is a pretty strong way to enter a race.
So I've been SRC member for first years, I've been the SRC member for widening access. So in that way I've kind of worked with a good number of presidents, and I've worked in a good number of roles that kind of equip me to go straight into the job.
What really stand out is the issues that are really affecting students in Andrews right now: housing, study space, student activities. I really genuinely care about them more than I care about anything else.
How can the union relate to students?
The union can relate to students because we are student-led. That is the best thing about the union. It is a sabbatical team of people who have been students before, and we are working to improve the student experience, which we've just had. I think we need to take a more sort of varied approach to how we do it. We need to start interacting on smaller levels as well as sort of the larger levels that we really do. So not just like providing leadership, but providing opportunities for students to give us more input.
The union can do a lot of things and should do a lot of things, but the balance of attempts and balance of resources really needs to be more on what ails students the most right now, which is the lack of housing space and really the place to study, a housing space in the library, not enough.
The union is its students. It's not an entity that sits and delegates things for students to partake in. It is, we say we are student-led and student-run, and that's true from the very bottom up to the very top.
What do you consider to be the biggest problem of the students in St. Andrews at the moment, and how would you work to resolve it?
Actually, the biggest reason there is limited housing in town is because Fife Council has imposed an HMO cap on housing in the center of town. So a lot of houses have 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, can't be let out to the appropriate number of people, because to let out to multiple people in the same house requires an HMO, which the Fife Council is just not issuing. And you have to, the only way to get around that is to focus and leverage the resources of the university and the student body as a whole.
The biggest problem for students in St. Andrews at the moment is housing. It's a huge problem. Every year we talk about how we can look at resolving it. Things are kind of put forward by various presidents, some things fall by the wayside, some things don't. So the first thing I really want to do is make sure that the union keeps a better track record of sort of what presidents have been doing, progress that's been made. First thing I try and do is talk to Catherine Styler, the rector, to see what we can do to address that problem together, and we need to look at sort of challenging that ban on the basis of how it's affected students compared to the benefit. Get students to have a say in what they think letting agencies should provide, and to set a standard in the town, and hopefully by doing that pressure landlords to sort of raise their game. And obviously it's not going to solve the accommodation problem overnight, but the union can't afford to build houses, and this is a really good way, I think, of kind of pressuring and taking some direct action into kind of engaging with the problem ourselves.
Your very easy answer on this is accommodation, because it's a long-term and protracted problem. If you ask what's changed in the accommodation scene in the last 5 years, very little. But in the last 6 months, we've managed to get £500,000 of accommodation bursaries. We've lobbied for that straight from the university. And the university, for the first time in that 5-year span, or if not longer, is actually considering its business cases for how it will build new accommodation. So these are things we really want to follow through. In terms of the biggest problems at Large, I think one that's not talked about is the fact that the Students Association still only serves a very narrow group of St. Andrews. I think it's too insular. I think you have all these affiliate societies, but quite frankly, it's not at the heart of the student experience here and doesn't encompass the widest array of what St. Andrews students do. And I think there's a level of resource and support that we can provide that's much greater than what we do right now.
What is my favourite type of cheese?
St. Auger, blue cheese, smelly cheese, definitely.
It's a hard question because it's probably one of the most important questions out there. Blue Stilton.
My favourite kind of cheese would be probably the smoked Bavarian sausage type cheese thing. I don't really know what that is, but it tastes great, doesn't it? Can't really go wrong with that one.
Just make sure you vote. Make sure you get involved. Get stuck in on the campaign team. Annoy people outside the library with flyers. It's incredibly fun and it's incredibly important for St. Andrews and the student experience. See you soon.